Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like you look older than you actually are? Or maybe you feel more tired, more stiff, more forgetful than you did just a few years ago? Here's something most people don't realize. Aging is not just about the number of years you have lived. It is also about how fast your body is breaking down on the inside. And the truth is, some of the things you do every single day could be speeding up that process without you even knowing it. I'm Dr. John Wellness, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through 7 things that are quietly making your body age faster than it should. Some of these will surprise you. One of them might even be something you did earlier today. So stay with me till the end, because number 4 is the one most people never expect, and by the time we finish, you will know exactly what had changed starting today. So let me ask you this. How many of these 7 mistakes are you making right now, without even realizing it? Before we go any further, let me introduce myself properly. My name is Dr. John Wellness, and I have spent many years working closely with older adults, helping them understand what really happens to the body as we age, and more importantly, what we can do about it. Point 1, poor sleep quality. Let's start with something almost everyone deals with at some point, and that is poor sleep. Now, you might be thinking, everyone loses a little sleep now and then, what is the big deal? But here is what most people do not realize. Sleep is not just rest for your mind. It is one of the most powerful repair processes your body goes through every single day. While you are sleeping, your body is working behind the scenes. It is repairing damaged cells, balancing your hormones, clearing out toxins from your brain, and strengthening your immune system. This is the time when your body does most of its healing and rebuilding. So when you do not get enough deep, quality sleep, night after night, your body simply does not get the chance to repair itself properly. Over time, this has a real effect on how fast you age. Poor sleep has been linked to higher stress hormone levels, weaker immune function, memory problems, and even changes in your skin, like fine lines and a dull complexion. It can also affect your heart health and your blood sugar levels, both of which play a big role in how well your body ages. Let me give you an example. Think about 2 people the same age. One of them sleeps 6 to 7 hours of deep, uninterrupted sleep almost every night. The other one struggles to fall asleep, wakes up multiple times during the night, and often runs on 5 hours or less. Even if everything else in their life looks similar, the second person's body is working under constant stress. Over the years, that stress adds up, and it often shows both in how they feel and in how they look. Now, here's the good news. This is one of the easiest things to start improving today. You do not need expensive supplements or complicated routines. Try going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Avoid heavy meals, caffeine, and bright screens for at least an hour before bed. And if your mind tends to race at night, even a few minutes of slow, deep breathing before sleep can make a real difference. Sleep is not a luxury. It is one of the most important things your body needs to slow down aging and keep functioning well for years to come. So think about your own sleep for a moment. Are you giving your body the deep, quality rest it actually needs? Or has poor sleep quietly become a normal part of your life? Let's move on to the next habit. And this one is closely connected to something almost all of us experience daily: stress. Point 2, chronic stress and high cortisol. Now, let's talk about something almost every single person deals with, and that is stress. A little bit of stress from time to time is completely normal. Your body is actually designed to handle short bursts of stress. But the real problem happens when that stress becomes constant, when it never really goes away, day after day, week after week. Here is what is happening inside your body when you are stressed. Your body releases a hormone called cortisol. In small amounts, cortisol is helpful. It gives you energy, sharpens your focus, and helps you respond to challenges. But when stress becomes chronic, your cortisol levels stay high for long periods of time, and that is where the damage begins. High cortisol levels over time can weaken your immune system, increase inflammation throughout your body, and even break down collagen in your skin, which is one of the reasons chronic stress can make people look noticeably older. It can also affect your memory, your sleep, your digestion, and your heart health. In many ways, chronic stress does not just affect how you feel, it accelerates how your entire body ages. Let me give you a simple example. Think about someone who is constantly worried overwhelmed, or under pressure, whether it's from family responsibilities, finances, health worries, or simply feeling like there is never enough time in the day. Even if that person eats well and stays active, their body is still under constant internal strain. Over the years, that ongoing stress can quietly wear down their health and inside, often faster than people realize. The good news is, you do not need to eliminate stress completely. That is not realistic for anyone. What matters is how you manage it. Simple daily habits can make a real difference. Something as small as 10 minutes of quiet breathing, a short walk outside, spending time with people you care about, or even keeping a journal to get your thoughts out of your head can help lower cortisol levels naturally. The goal is not to avoid stress entirely. The goal is to make sure your body gets regular breaks from it, so it has a chance to recover and reset. So think about your own life for a moment. Do you have moments in your day where your mind and body truly get to relax? Or does your stress feel like it never really switches off? Let's move on to the next habit. And this one is something many people do not even think of as a health issue, but it has a much bigger impact than most people expect. Point 3. Sedentary lifestyle and lack of movement. Let's talk about something that has quietly become a normal part of daily life for so many people, and that is sitting for long hours without much movement. Whether it is sitting at a desk, watching television, or simply resting more as we get older, a lack of regular movement is one of the biggest hidden causes of faster aging. Here is why this matters so much. Your body was built to move. When you sit for long periods without breaking it up with movement, your blood circulation slows down, your muscles begin to weaken, and your joints can become stiffer over time. This is one of the main reasons some people notice they feel more tired, more achy, or less steady on their feet as the years go by. But the effects go beyond just muscles and joints. A sedentary lifestyle has also been linked to a higher risk of heart disease, weaker bone density, slower metabolism, and even a decline in memory and brain function. Movement is not just about staying fit. It plays a direct role in how well your organs function and how efficiently your entire body works. Let me give you an example. Think about two people in their 60s. One of them moves regularly throughout the day, takes daily walks, and stays active with simple activities like gardening or light household tasks. The other spends most of the day sitting, with very little movement in between. Even if both eat similar diets, the person who moves more will often have stronger muscles, better balance, and more energy. Over time, that difference becomes even more noticeable. Now, here is something important to understand. You do not need intense workouts to see real benefits. What matters most is consistency. Something as simple as standing up and walking for a few minutes every hour, taking a short walk after meals, or doing gentle stretching in the morning can make a meaningful difference over time. The goal is not to become an athlete. The goal is to keep your body moving regularly, so it does not lose strength and flexibility as the years go by. Movement truly is one of the closest things we have to a natural way of slowing down the aging process. So think about your own day for a moment. How much of your time is spent sitting without a break? And how much of it involves any kind of movement at all? Let's move on to the next habit. And this one is something almost everyone enjoys, but very few realize how much it can be quietly affecting their body. Point 4. Processed food and excess sugar. Now we come to the one I mentioned at the very beginning, the one most people never expect. And that is a food many of us eat almost every single day without giving it a second thought. Processed food and excess sugar. Here is what most people do not know. When you eat a lot of sugar and heavily processed food, something happens inside your body called glycation. In simple terms, excess sugar in your bloodstream starts to attach itself to proteins in your body, including collagen and elastin, which are the very proteins responsible for keeping your skin firm and your joints flexible. Over time, this process actually damages those proteins, and is one of the most direct ways that diet speeds up visible aging. But the effects are not just on the outside. Processed foods are often high in unhealthy fats, added sugar, and artificial ingredients, and low in the nutrients your body actually needs to repair itself. This combination increases inflammation throughout your body, puts extra strain on your heart, and can affect your blood sugar levels significantly. Many of the diseases we associate with getting older, like heart problems, diabetes, and even memory decline, have been closely linked to long-term diets high in sugar and processed food. Let me give you an example. Think about two people eating completely different diets. One of them eats mostly whole foods, vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, and healthy fats. The other relies heavily on packaged snacks, sugary drinks, and fast food. Even if they weigh the same and look similar on the outside for a while, the internal damage happening in their bodies is very different. Over the years, that internal damage often becomes visible in the skin and energy levels and in overall health. Now, here's the part that surprises most people. You do not need to follow a strict or extreme diet to see real benefits. Small changes matter far more than most people think. Reducing sugary drinks, choosing whole fruit instead of processed snacks, and adding more vegetables and lean proteins to your meals can significantly reduce this kind of internal damage over time. It is not about being perfect. It is about making better choices more often than not. What you eat every day is quietly shaping how your body ages, far more than most people realize. So think about your own eating habits for a moment. How much of what you eat on a typical day is processed food or added sugar? And how much of it is truly nourishing your body? Let's move on to the next habit. And this one is something people often overlook completely, even though your body depends on it every single hour of the day. Point 5, dehydration. Let's talk about something so simple, so basic, that most people completely overlook it, and that is not drinking enough water. It sounds almost too simple to matter, but dehydration is one of the most underestimated causes of faster aging. Here is why this matters so much. Your body is made up mostly of water, and nearly every single function inside you depends on it. Water helps regulate your body temperature, carries nutrients to your cells, flushes out toxins, and keeps your joints properly lubricated. Even your skin depends heavily on proper hydration to stay firm, smooth, and elastic. When you do not drink enough water consistently, your body has to work harder just to keep up with basic functions. Over time, chronic mild dehydration can lead to noticeable effects. Your skin can lose its elasticity and start to look dry or dull. Your joints may feel stiffer. Your energy levels can drop, and your ability to focus and think clearly can decline as well. Many older adults also experience a reduced sense of thirst as they age, which means they can be dehydrated without even realizing it, simply because they do not feel thirsty the way they used to. Let me give you an example. Think about two people the same age. One of them drinks water consistently throughout the day. The other only drinks something when they happen to feel thirsty, which for many people is already a sign that dehydration has started. Even though the difference seems small day to day, over months and years, the person who stays properly hydrated often has clearer skin, better joint comfort, and more consistent energy throughout the day. The good news is, this is one of the easiest things on this list to fix. You do not need anything expensive or complicated. Try keeping a water bottle nearby throughout the day as a simple reminder. Drink a glass of water first thing in the morning, before your first cup of tea or coffee. And remember, foods like fruits and vegetables also contribute to your daily hydration. So, eating well and drinking well go hand in hand. Something as simple as staying properly hydrated can make a real, visible difference in how your body feels and functions over time. So, think about your own day for a moment. How much water do you actually drink? And are you drinking it consistently, or only when you happen to remember? Let's move on to the next habit, and this one is a little different from the others, because it has less to do with your body directly, and much more to do with something equally important, your connections with other people. Point 6, social isolation and loneliness. Now let's talk about something that many people never even think of as a health issue, but research shows it can be just as damaging as poor diet or lack of exercise, and that is social isolation and loneliness. Here is what most people do not realize. Human beings are wired for connection. When we spend long periods of time without meaningful social contact, our bodies actually respond to that as a form of stress. This can raise cortisol levels, increase inflammation, and put extra strain on the heart, similar to some of the other habits we have already talked about today. Loneliness has been linked to a higher risk of heart disease, weaker immune function, and even a faster decline in memory and brain function. Some studies have found that chronic loneliness can affect the body in ways that are comparable to smoking or being overweight. And beyond the physical effects, loneliness often leads to lower motivation to eat well, stay active, or take care of yourself in general, which only adds to the problem over time. Let me give you an example. Think about two people in their later years. One of them stays regularly connected, whether it is with family, friends, or a community group. They have people to talk to, share meals with, and spend time with regularly. The other spends most of their time alone, with very little regular social contact. Even if both of them are physically similar in other ways, the person with strong social connections often shows better emotional health, sharper memory, and even better physical resilience as the years go by. The good news is you do not need a large social circle to benefit from this. What matters most is consistency and quality. A regular phone call with a family member, a weekly visit with a friend, joining a local group or class, or even simple conversations with neighbors can make a real difference. Connection does not have to be complicated. It simply has to be consistent. Staying socially connected is not just good for your mood. It is genuinely good for your body, and it plays a real role in how well you age. So think about your own life for a moment. How much meaningful social connection do you have on a regular basis? And when was the last time you had a real conversation with someone you care about? Let's move on to the final habit on this list. And this one is something many people avoid simply because they would rather not think about it. Point 7. Skipping regular health checkups. Now let's talk about the final habit on our list. And honestly, this might be the most important one of all. That is avoiding or skipping regular health checkups. Here is something I have seen so many times in my years of practice. People often wait until something feels wrong before they see a doctor. But many of the conditions that quietly speed up aging, things like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, early diabetes, or even low vitamin levels, often show no clear symptoms in their early stages. By the time a person actually feels something is wrong, the condition may have already been developing quietly for years. Regular checkups give your doctor the chance to catch these issues early, when they are still easy to manage or even reverse. Simple blood tests can reveal a lot about how your body is functioning on the inside, long before any visible signs appear. Skipping these checkups means missing the chance to catch small problems before they become big ones. Let me give you an example. Think about two people the same age. One of them visits their doctor regularly, gets routine blood work done, and stays on top of their health numbers. The other avoids checkups altogether, usually because they feel fine and assume everything must be okay. Years later, the person who stayed consistent with checkups often catches problems early and manages them with simple lifestyle changes or medication. The other person, unfortunately, sometimes discovers the same issue much later, when it has already caused more serious damage. This is one of the reasons why regular checkups are not just a formality. They are one of the most powerful tools we have to slow down aging, simply because they allow us to catch problems while they are still small. The good news is, this does not have to be complicated or time-consuming. A yearly physical, along with basic blood work, is often enough to keep track of the key markers that matter most, like blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, and vitamin levels. If it has been more than a year since your last checkup, that alone might be one of the simplest and most important things you can change starting this week. Taking care of your health is not just about what you do every day. It is also about staying informed about what is actually happening inside your body. So think about it for a moment. When was the last time you had a full checkup? And are you truly staying ahead of your health, or simply hoping everything is fine? Now that we have gone through all 7 habits, let's bring it all together and talk about what you can actually do starting today. Here's the recap and closing sections. Same natural voiceover style. So let's quickly bring everything together. We talked about 7 things that can quietly age your body faster than normal. Number 1, poor sleep quality, which robs your body of the time it needs to repair itself. Number 2, chronic stress and high cortisol, which wears down your body from the inside. Number 3, a sedentary lifestyle, which weakens your muscles, joints, and circulation over time. Number 4, processed food and excess sugar, which damages the very proteins that keep your skin and joints healthy. Number 5, dehydration, something so simple, yet so often overlooked. Number 6, social isolation and loneliness, which affects your body just as much as your mood. And number 7, skipping regular health checkups, which means missing the chance to catch small problems before they become big ones. Now, here's the important part. None of these are permanent. Every single one of them can be improved, starting today with small, realistic changes. So here is what I want you to do. Do not try to fix all 7 of these at once. That is not realistic, and honestly, it is not necessary. Instead, pick just 1 or 2 from this list, the ones that felt the most familiar to you as we went through them today, and start there. Maybe this week, you focus on drinking more water and getting to bed a little earlier. Next week, you add a short daily walk. Small, consistent changes like these add up in ways that truly matter over time. That is really the secret. It is not about doing everything perfectly. It is about doing a few things consistently. Aging is something none of us can stop completely, and that is okay. But aging faster than you need to, that part is often within your control. If this video helped you, please consider subscribing to this channel. Every week, I share simple, practical, science-backed ways to help you stay healthier, stronger, and more energetic as you get older. And if you know someone, a parent, a friend, or a loved one who could benefit from this information, please share this video with them. It might just be exactly what they need to hear today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care of yourself, because you deserve to feel your best at every stage of life.